important national and international days in January. January 1st, Global Family Day. It is celebrated as a day of peace and sharing. Its aim is to unite and spread a message of peace by considering and promoting the idea that Earth is one global family, so as to make the world a better place to live for everyone. January 4, World Braille Day. This day marks the birth anniversary of Louis Braille, the inventor of Braille. Braille is an important writing system used by blind people to read. January 6, World Day of War Orphans. Every year, 6th January is observed as World Day of War Orphans to create awareness about the atrocities that war orphans face. This day was founded by French organization SOS Infants in Distress. January 9, Pravasi Bharathi Divas or Non-Resident Indian Day. It is observed every year on 9th January to mark the contribution of the overseas Indian community towards the development of India. This day also commemorates the return of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to Mumbai on 9th January 1915. Guru Gobind Singh Jayanti. He was the 10th and last of the personal Sikh gurus known for his creation of Khalsa, the military brotherhood of the Sikhs. He was the son of the 9th Guru, Tej Bahadur. January 10, World Hindi Day. It is celebrated to commemorate the first World Hindi Conference held on January 10, 1975 in Nagpur, India. The purpose of the conference was to propagate and promote Hindi as a language on the international levels. World Hindi Day was started celebrating in the year 2006 after its inception in 2003. This tradition was started by our former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. World Hindi Day is not to be confused with Hindi Divas, which falls on September 14th every year. That is celebrated to honor and admire the work of those poets, writers and authors that use the Hindi language for their craft, whereas World Hindi Day is celebrated to popularize the language internationally. January 11th, death anniversary of Lal Bahadur Shastri. Lal Bahadur Shastri was the second Prime Minister of independent India. He popularized the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. He actively participated in India's freedom struggle. Due to cardiac arrest, he died on 11th January 1966. January 11, National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. This day raises awareness of the persistent issue of human trafficking. Though the entire month of January has already been recognized as National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, this day is specifically dedicated to awareness and prevention of the illegal practice. This day is also different from the World Day Against Trafficking Persons as established by the United Nations. Human trafficking is the exploitation of another person for labor, domestic servitude, or commercial sexual activity by force, fraud, or coercion. It is also the act of enslaving or exploiting unwilling other people. Unfortunately, slavery in some form has existed for hundreds of years and persistently exists today, though many are unaware of this fact. The horrific injustice of human trafficking can affect people of any race and background. And on this day, we are all called to fight human trafficking wherever it exists. January 12th, National Youth Day. The birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, that is Swami Vivekananda Jayanti, is celebrated every year on 12th January as National Youth Day. He was born on 12th January 1863. The government had decided to observe it as National Youth Day because the philosophy of Swamiji and the ideals for which he lived and worked could be a great source of inspiration for the Indian youth. He had given a speech at the Parliament of World's Religions in Chicago and glorified India's name. January 13, Lohri. Lohri is celebrated on the winter solstice. It is a harvest festival which is passionately celebrated by Sikhs. It is basically a festival of Punjab and Haryana. It is a time when people offer gratitude and thanks to the Sun Lord for his gracious blessings to help them have a good harvest. January 14th, Makar Sankranti. This day marks the end of the winter season and the beginning of the new harvest season. This day also marks the coming of spring. January 14th, Armed Forces Veterans Day. Armed Forces Veterans Day is observed on January 14th every year since 2017. It is celebrated to honor the sacrifice of our veterans in serving the nation. This day was initially called Armistice Day. 14th January was selected because India's first Field Marshal C.M. Cariappa retired on 14th January in 1953. Celebrating and commemorating Indian Armed Forces Veterans Day acknowledges and honors the selfless service, devotion and sacrifice of our veterans in the service of our motherland. January 15th, Indian Army Day. This day is celebrated every year on January 15th because it is the day on which Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa, then a Lieutenant General, took over as the first Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army from the last British Commander-in-Chief of India, General Francis Busher, in the year 1949. Parades, medal presenting and other ceremonies are organized to celebrate the Army Day. With service before self as its motto, the Indian Army is the largest component of the Indian Armed Forces. The year 2023 will mark the 75th anniversary of the Indian Army Day. January 21, Tripura, Manipur and Meghalaya Foundation Day. On 21st January 1972, the states of Tripura, Manipur and Meghalaya became full-fledged states under the Northeastern Region Reorganization Act 1971. Therefore, Tripura, Manipur and Meghalaya celebrate their statehood day on 21st January. January 23. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Jayanti. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was born on 23rd January 1897 in Cuttack, Odisha. He was one of the most prominent Indian freedom fighters. He founded Indian National Army INA or Azad Hind Fauj. He also led an Indian national force from abroad against the Western powers during World War II. January 24, National Girl Child Day. This day is observed to raise the issue of the inequality faced by girl children in Indian society. This day was established by the Ministry of Women and Child Development and the Government of India in 2008. January 24, International Day of Education. This day is celebrated to raise awareness about the importance of the role of education for peace and development. It also supports transformative actions for inclusive, equitable, and quality education for all. January 25, National Voters' Day. It is celebrated to encourage young voters to take part in the political process. In 2011, the first time this day was celebrated to mark Election Commission's Foundation Day. National Tourism Day. It is celebrated in India every year to raise awareness and educate people about the importance of tourism and the role it plays in the Indian economy. January 26, Republic Day. On 26 November 1949, the Indian Constituent Assembly adopted the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, and replaced the Government of India Act of 1935. It came into effect on 26 January 1950 with a democratic government system. This day witnesses the largest parade that takes place at Rajpath, Delhi every year. January 26, International Customs Day. This day is celebrated by World Customs Organization to recognize the role of custom officials and agencies in maintaining border security. It also focuses on the working conditions and challenges that customs officers face in their jobs. January 26, International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The United Nations General Assembly designated January 27 the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau as International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Holocaust was the genocide of European Jews during World War II. Between 1941 and 1945, Nazi Germany and its collaborators systematically murdered some 6 million Jews across German-occupied Europe, around two-thirds of Europe's Jewish population. On 27th January every year, the UN urges every member state to honor the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust and millions of other victims of Nazism, and to develop educational programs to help prevent future genocides. January 28, birth anniversary of Lalalachpat Rai. Lalalachpat Rai was born on 28 January 1865 in Punjab. He was a prominent nationalist leader who played an important role in India's freedom struggle. He also earned the title of Punjab Kesari or the Lion of Punjab. He initiated the foundation of the Punjab National Bank. January 29, World Leprosy Day. World Leprosy Day is observed on the last Sunday of January to focus on the target of 0 cases of leprosy-related disabilities World Leprosy Day is observed to increase the public awareness of leprosy or Hansen's disease. This day was chosen by French humanitarian Raoul Follereau as a tribute to the life of Mahatma Gandhi, who had compassion for people affected with leprosy. Leprosy is a chronic infectious disease caused by Mycobacterium leprae. The disease mainly affects skin, the peripheral nerves, mucosal surfaces of the upper respiratory tract, and the eyes. It is curable, and the treatment in the early stages can prevent disability. Leprosy is likely to be transmitted via droplets from the nose and mouth during close and frequent contact with untreated cases. January 30, Martyrs' Day or Shaheed Divas. This day marks the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, by Nathuram Vinayak Godse in 1948. Martyrs' Day is observed to salute the martyrdom of soldiers who lost their lives defending the sovereignty of the nation. Please subscribe my channel.